think I've heard that some companies are building new auto plants in Canada, or in Ontario especially, for stuff like EVs. Like, what do you make of
Okay,
that?
well, some are leaving. I don't know.
Do you think the Conservatives would be different, or any other political party?
I would hope that the Conservatives promise to be better. I hope that they will be, right? I hope. They certainly seem to have a good idea of what they want to do, right? And it is not new bureaucracy and new legislation. A lot of what they want to do is repeal legislation. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's something that we need. And obviously they are politicians, and we hope that they will keep their word. That is why we elect them, to keep their word and their promises. So I hope that they will.
I mean, I guess the Liberals petitioned that they were going to advance our economy too, and
Yeah.
it hasn't advanced that much. So how much can we really trust? It's a question
Yeah.
for anybody.
Yeah. Well, a lot of us were skeptical about the Liberal Party because they are the ones that have caused this really bad economic situation, right? So, honestly, I was out here in the election telling people, don't trust it, right? Let's think critically about what they've done over the past 10 years and really think, okay, are they actually going to follow through and grow our economy? And I was skeptical. I hoped that he would come through with his promises, but honestly, it's literally just talk.
Okay, I have a question. So if
Yeah.
you're prime minister, you had a majority government for whatever political party you wanted,
Let's
and
say,
they were all
let's say minority government, because that's what we
okay.
have now.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What would you do?
What would I do?
Yes.
Well, first thing is repeal all this bad legislation. So like the censorship laws, the gun buyback laws, so C11, C21, and then I would totally fight against all these bad censorship laws that they're already trying to put through again in this session. It's like C8, C9. I would fight against those, and then I would repeal Bill 69, which is it's the what they call the No Pipelines Act, but it's stonewalls the production of new pipelines.
Oh, is that the one where all the pipelines go through the U.S. before we can export it?
Yeah, so it actually prevents pipelines being built so that we have our own independent production in Canada and refine it ourselves. That stonewalls that, so I would repeal that. And then the bad bail reform bill that they put forward during the Trudeau era, Bill C-75.
How do you think the Liberals should handle foreign interference in our country by China and India?
Actually take it seriously. So we have, there's a lot of concern about the Liberal Party being infiltrated, or at least really in cahoots with China. A lot of concern. And there's one left-leaning senator, I know he's not partisan in the Senate, but he actually is affiliated with the CPP, as far as I understand. CCP, yeah. So he's affiliated with them.
The Communist Party?
No, like the Chinese.
Oh,
So
the
he
Chinese
has affiliation with them. So there's that guy, and then we also had another. There was a whole deal. I don't know if you've heard about it. During the election, there was two MPs in the GTA area. One MP for the Liberal Party. He came out and said, "Oh, hey guys, there's a bounty by the Chinese. The Chinese have put a bounty on my opponent here. Why don't you go collect on it? And this is a real thing. I think Paul Chang or something was his name.
He resigned, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, thank
He did. But he encouraged people to do that, which is honestly a really wild thing, right? But there is concern, and then Mark Carney, who's had all sorts of investments with the Chinese. The Chinese were supporting the Liberal Party.
What do you think the Liberal Party should change about the healthcare system?
That is a good question. So I think there's a lot of things that have made it really bad. There's just too much immigration now, so there's just too much demand for our healthcare system. That's one thing. So they need to kind of slow that down so that we can actually maintain a good, honest care for our citizens, right? That's number one. But then there's got to be a way to maintain a sort of universal healthcare style while also adding a sort of competition element to it, where the hospitals compete for funds so that like they're encouraged to go faster and actually do better care.
Would you say compete for funds from the federal government or compete
Yeah,
for
federal
private
government.
funds? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think they should be for profit?
No, well, that's you can't really do that when it's federal funds, right? So, yeah.
Do you think like a private healthcare system would be better than our current healthcare system?
I think it would be better care. So I kind of like the way they do it in Sweden, where they have like a quarter of their hospitals are privately run. So there's that element of competition. But then they probably also have like some way to fund that publicly, but they're privately owned, and I think it could be a good system. But not necessarily that we would have private healthcare. I don't think that would go through with anyone. Like, no one would want that. So.
I see where you're coming from with like different hospitals competing for funds. One thing I'd say about that is like some cities you might have like only like 1 or 2 hospitals.
Yeah.
And so like if those hospitals get no funds because they can't compete, then you're kind
Yeah.
of,
Well, no, they would still get funds, but
well,
like a
not as many.
prioritization.
They wouldn't be prioritized as much.
Yeah.
And that might like harm the standard of care for entire cities.
And then we'd have to be subjective about that, right? But that's just, it's an idea.
Yeah.
Like, there has got to be some way to somehow.
Neither of us are prime minister.
Yeah. But we are voters, so.
We can change that.